Welcome back to Talk Show with Joe Rodriguez. Today we have
Alexis.
And how do we know each other?
I didn't know you were gonna ask this.
We know each other from Grindr.
You've had me on the show before. I don't understand why we're going all to the top.
But we have to recap it. Okay, so we just got back from a cruise. Really fun. How was the cruise?
It was fun. If you guys are gonna go to a cruise, don't go to Ensenada. Whether it's any other cruise liner, don't go to Ensenada. It isn't quite what you think it is.
What did you have against Ensenada?
It's not nice.
I mean, yeah, it was cloudy out.
No, it's just isn't nice. The picture's going to be posted somewhere in the video for you guys to see that it wasn't nice.
Yeah.
It was bleh. It was like going to the Port of San Pedro. Like if you were stopping by. You know, it's not that.
But I felt good to be in another country. You know what I mean? Like I felt good to walk around, feel a little bit of risk.
I mean, that was fine. Walking around is fine, but it wasn't like, oh, like I'm gonna go to one of the resorts and drink the shit out of myself, right? It was more like,
well, I heard about that. I heard about the drinking of drinking to cause you to shit. I heard about the food poisoning.
I don't know about that, but
well, I was told to not eat or drink in Mexico.
Well, we didn't, so
yeah, I was tempted. There were a lot of taco shops, which,
by the way, there were handmade tortillas, because that's how Mexico.
There were handmade tortillas.
They do handmade tortillas every taco, like everywhere you go in Mexico.
So
there is for you to buy already made tortillas, like when you go to the grocery store here, but in Mexico, you go to like a corner pop-up shop to buy tortillas.
So the tortillas I'm getting at Pollo Loco, they're not handmade?
No, they're pre-made by another company
but somebody's hands had to be making these tortillas.
No, it's a machine that makes them.
Really? Wait, a machine?
There's a machine that has like circles on it. So when it spins, it creates a tortilla, you know? So it creates a sheet and then the little pre-cut thing goes around it.
Oh, it's pressing it like a mold. And then where does all the other bread go?
It goes back in the same batch.
Oh, do they burn it down?
What? No, if you're cutting...
We have a sheet of tortilla. The round thing is going... And then you have all this excess tortilla. Where is that tortilla going?
Back into the same thing.
So then you get a mushed together tortilla. It pushed into
No, because it isn't cooked yet. It goes on a non-stick surface first, and then it goes onto the hot surface.
What? Hold on.
Okay, think of a wheel.
Batter?
No, so they put the batter on a funnel thing, and then there's a little, like a squishy thing what squishes the batter into a flat, thin layer to make tortillas. So now you have a thin, flat layer of whatever it is.
What shape?
It's flat. Have you not eaten tortillas before?
That's not a shape. Flat is not a shape.
Okay, anyway, so it gets pressed and then the excess gets put back into the funnel for it to produce more. Nothing goes to waste. Unless, obviously, I fall on the floor.
So are you saying that batter gets splattered out?
Actually, it's more like dough.
So the dough is it like balls of dough gets put into a flat thing, and then a round thing comes and pushes the dough.
No.
Baby.
Can you wait? I'm trying to find the perfect visual for you. Like this.
Oh, so it is handmade. That's a human's hands.
Handmade doesn't mean...
So it's a piece of dough.
Do you not know that handmade means like you actually do it with your fucking hands?
What would be the difference between that and how it's done in Mexico?
Well, in Mexico, they do it the same way, but it's not...
They do it the same way.
They do it the same way, but it's more fresh. Like the corn is actually not... It's non-processed.
Maíz.
Yes. And it's more authentic. It's more authentic. And by the way, U.S. corn is banned in Mexico.
U.S. corn is banned in Mexico?
Yes, it is.
Why?
Because of the way it's grown. It's illegal.
How are we growing it that's bad?
The way the U.S. farmers grow it, the way they're told to grow it, they're adding a lot of hormones and a lot of well, the way it works here is that a seed could be trademarked. Well, not trademarked. It could be what is it called? For names, patent. And so the way they patent it, it's that the corn has a lot of issues. It's not quite normal corn.
What does that mean? Like, okay, so it's modified.
It's
genetically modified.
Yes. Mexican corn is not modified.
So it's raw organic corn.
Yes. A lot of the fruits and veggies from Mexico and other countries are more normal than U.S. crops.
How about their cows?
They're even better.
They're better? So then what am I worried about the food for? Montezuma's Revenge. Do you know what that is?
No, I don't know what that is.
It's like a bacteria or something. I'm supposed to be scared of the food.
Well, I don't know who told you that because I've always eaten there and nothing happened.
You've eaten in Mexico?
I've been to Mexico multiple times, yes.
And you eat like at any old taco shop?
Well, obviously, the first thing you check is that, one, they're clean. Two,
you check if they're clean. What does that mean? You walk around and you look at it?
If you were to go somewhere here in the United States and you see that the place is dirty, would you eat there?
Well, you're making me think about the ratings. A, B, C. The health ratings.
Mexico doesn't have that, so you can rate it the number you want, A, B, C, or D, depending on what you see. Obviously,
your personal rating?
Yes. If you see a cockroach and
If you see a cockroach...
If you see a cockroach, would you eat there? If you see a cockroach, would you eat there?
No.
Exactly. So it's the same thing. It's like Air One was shut down because there was cockroaches.
All right, but okay, so in Mexico you have your own ratings, like you gotta like use your gut judgment.
Technically, Mexican officials have food safety or whatever, but it's not as streamlined as it is here in the United States.
So Ensenada had the food that we couldn't eat, and what else did you not like about it? It was a little rough looking, like, you know, not very nice. I saw like poop, like I saw like pigeon poop and like.
Anyway,
I mean, I expected there were not very many homeless people in Mexico. One lady begged me for money, and I said, "No, I can't."
Huh? What lady?
The lady on the street. You don't remember some lady on the street? She went, and that was like the closest thing to begging that I experienced. But it was very like civilized. There were cars and stuff.
One, we don't talk about homelessness.
Okay, why do we not talk about homelessness?
Because in LA, you have more homeless people than you have in Mexico.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying.
This is sounding more boring than what I actually thought of. Anyway, we're going to switch topics here.
But the cruise, you didn't like the cruise?
I never said I didn't like the cruise. Jesus
you started
Christ.
out by saying that you didn't like it.
I said the cruise was just fine. Just obviously it was a short cruise, but it was because
how many days? 4 days? That's short to you?
It was 4 nights. It was Monday to Thursday. We came back Friday morning.
So that's almost 5 days.
Yes. It was pretty fun.
We got tan. I feel like I look very exotic right now.
Sure, yeah.
I do. I look like I'm
a
mix of every single country that's not America.
I'm
very tan and dark.
On Friday, we ran from the Port of San Pedro to my job because I needed to do a shoot.
Oh, right. You were acting in a project.
Yes,
But you're not an actor. Are you allowed to say what you do for a living?
I don't think so.
But it's in what industry? Healthcare?
It's a non-profit healthcare.
Okay. Okay. They don't know. They don't have any context. So we took the Royal Caribbean. What was the boat called?
Navigator. We aborted the Navigator of the Seas on Monday at 9 a.m., which, by the way, the onboarding was pretty fun. Very easy.
That was fun to you?
You yourself said that it was easier than going through an airport.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have to take my laptop out of the bag, but I wouldn't call that fun. We had to go into many tents in San Pedro. And so I would say that it was pretty aggressive. That the people were acting pretty stuck up for people that were going to have to spend 5 days together.
Wait,
do you remember the lady?
You're talking about
the boarding process.
But you're talking about the customers, right?
Oh yeah, I'm talking about the customers.
Yeah, the customers are very stupid.
That one lady came up to us and she was like, "Are you in a suite? We're in a suite." And I said yes, and you said no.
Yeah, because he doesn't know what a suite is.
I thought we were in a suite. We had a view of the water.
She was asking if we were in the Pinnacle and Suite line. Navigator of the Seas has pinnacles. Pinnacles are, if you don't know, go search it up on Google. But basically, suite is a bigger room that is about $1,000 a day per person on average.
$1,000 a day. Oh, that's
person.
Why she was talking the way she was talking.
Yeah. So a suite is so much bigger. It could be up to 600 square feet, I believe. And you get your own director. And you get VIP treatment. Yes.
You get your own director. What is a director? Action.
No, they take charge of that. You get everything that you want. So you'll get free room service for all 3 meals, or you'll get they'll do your reservations. You'll be the first one to get out the ship. You'll be there are certain perks that come with it.
So those people paid $4,000?
Probably, yes.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, it gets crazy, but if you have money...
The entire cruise situation was very the whole thing was a money-making operation.
Well, for starters, it's his first cruise. It's my second cruise.
Oh, it's your second cruise?
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was your third or fourth.
No, it's my second cruise. Cruises are not cheap because it's all inclusive besides alcohol and other beverages, unless you're at the Windjammer or main dining room, etc. But the reason why it's that expensive is because it's your hotel, it's your eatery, it's your pool, it's your hot tub, it's your gym. There's arcades.
Yeah, we only got to use the gym once because it was always packed.
And I mean,
we're making it sound like we hate it. I mean, did you like it at all? Did you like it at all?
I did like it. I had fun.
I had fun too, but there are some negative things that we would like to point out right now, I guess. What is the Windjammer? They don't understand what the Windjammer is.
Okay, the Windjammer is like your buffet, like your hometown buffet, but for Royal Caribbean. I believe every of their boats or vessels have the Windjammer. And I think, I'm not sure if this is why they call it the Windjammer, but it sits on the highest level, on the highest deck, or sometimes below the highest deck of the ship. So in this case, it was on level 11. And it basically wind and jammer, as in like wind,
Like the wind is going and it's getting the air. It's an air compressor.
No.
That's why the food taste is so bad.
Oh my God, Joseph.
How would you rate the food in the Windjammer?
I like the food.
I did not
it's
like
a buffet.
The food.
It's not.
It was worse than a soup plantation. The food in that Windjammer was jamming my asshole full of.
Which, by the way, he was eating
terrible
everything that he possibly could.
That's not true.
Besides the rotisserie chicken that he ate the last day, which was a little weird.
The rotisserie chicken.
But then again, if you didn't like the food, you can just pick whatever you like.
I mean, listen. You need to eat. Carbs went down with butter, and we ate a lot of starch. But dinners were nice because it was not at the Windjammer, and you would.
Well, again, you're comparing a buffet to a actual dining experience.
What was the dining room called?
It's called the main dining room.
Oh, it's called the main dining room.
Yes.
And we had to make a reservation. That was really nice. It kind of reminded me of like something from the Titanic with chandeliers and nice white tablecloths. And
it was a 3-deck or a 4-deck dining room with a nice chandelier in the middle and a staircase, which nobody used. But I guess it's for safety reasons.
Remember all the employees would go onto the staircase and sing for us?
Yes. It was an Italian song. I don't know what it's called. But yes, they did
that. Que sera, sera. And they would go on parade and they would go boom, 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 boom. And they would like swing their napkins around.
Yes. I've never experienced that before. And I've eaten at the same time. Because our reservation was at 8:30. The first cruise, I would eat at 9. And I never experienced that.
What do you mean you would eat at 9?
Like my reservation was at 9
p.m.?
Yes. So I'd never experienced that. That was the first time. But I mean, where I was in, it was a bigger ship. I forgot the name of it. It wasn't, what was it called? Let me check.
We don't need you to check. Just, it's all right. Whatever.
Basically, it leaves from Galveston, Texas.
Yeah.
And it was bigger because there is a larger middle section.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Like more elevators or like more
I think it was 14 decks tall.
14 decks?
Yes.
But ours had 15. The Navigator of the Seas.
No, it had 12.
But I saw 15 floors.
That was in the back.
There were 15 buttons on the elevator.
There was only 12. But if you go to the back of the ship, there is 15.
I see. And so people don't understand, like the boat is like 2 sides with 2 elevators, and then in the middle you got pools and hot tubs that are always full.
You have the forward, which is the front, as it states in the name, and then you have the aft, which is the back.
Yeah.
The aft has its own set of elevators, and so does forward. Forward has a smaller amount of accessible decks due to the captain being there and other factors. And then the aft has more decks because it's the back. And usually there's the steam. The exhaust for the engines. We don't use coal anymore. We use diesel. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I saw smoke coming out of the pipes.
Yes. So if you look at the difference between Carnival and Royal Caribbean, most of the time the engine exhaust will always be white on a Royal Caribbean cruise liner because they try to limit the amount of CO2 released in the ocean. Carnival is always going to be black because they don't give a shit.
Oh, so you don't like Carnival?
No, I don't like Carnival.
They probably eat corn from America,
Have you not tried, have you not heard of the poop cruise?
No, what is that?
Well,
Celebrity Cruise Line?
No. Well, Celebrity Cruise Line is part of Royal Caribbean, so that's fine. But Carnival has a story about a poop cruise.
What does that mean?
It happened in, I think, 2013 or 2017. Basically, all of there was an issue there was a fire in the engine room where the engine, does its thing. And then there was everything went downhill after that.
Are we talking about like the Titanic or something?
No, like people couldn't use the restroom because the water backwash, or what's it called?
Yeah, it came back.
It came back up and people were told to poop in like biohazard bags, and like basically Carnival didn't want to pay for the cruise liner to be towed to Galveston.
Really?
So they had like horror choppers were called, like the Coast Guard had to evacuate a couple people.
Choppers are cheaper than
but they didn't have a choice after people were like streaming it on the internet.
Right. The internet came to save the situation.
Yes.
And so this is all because of like a clogged toilet or something?
No, this happened because of their poor rule of judgment. I
don't follow.
You know the term quality versus quantity? They preferred quantity versus quality.
What does that mean? They wanted more pipes than...
It's expensive to tow...
They want a paper pipe?
No, it's expensive to tow a cruise liner from the middle of the ocean.
What does that have to do with what happened? Please explain from the top.
The engine broke.
What happened? The engine broke.
Are you not paying attention?
I am paying attention. What does that have to do with the poop? You keep bringing up the poop and the engine.
Okay, if the engine doesn't work, how the fuck is the water going to run through the pipes?
Oh, so the engine fires the water?
If anything about cruises is that the engine also works as a generator for the electricity for the boat. They also have extra generators that generate electricity.
There's generators?
Yeah, like they have... It's not your standard home generator that you have to pull a string for. It's more like these mass...
Oh, the water's running past it. And the pedals are going... the paddles are going... And they're generating electricity.
Wait, what?
Like, you know how water goes by a wheel?
No, it's not like that. It's actual diesel-run generators. Think of an engine. So they put
diesel in it?
No.
It powers the boat?
Okay, it's like your car engine.
Yeah.
Just that this engine is moving a propeller.
Okay.
Do you not know how a boat works?
Barely. All right, please. Okay, so diesel-powered generators, they powered the electricity.
Okay, I don't know which boats specifically have generators, but there's an engine that provides power for the propellers, and may or may not also use supply power to the whole entire ship. There was a fire reported in the engine room.
Carnival Cruise Lines. In the engine room.
Yes. And they went to suppress it, and things fell off the boat, literally, after that. So, for one, they couldn't repair the engine or whatever was messed up. So they were just in the middle of the ocean and they weren't moving. Then, water started to backflow, and they couldn't flush the toilets. There was no electricity. There was no internet. There wasn't anything.
So they were electric toilets. Is it a pump is probably involved?
Yes, right. A pump to keep the water pressure the way it's supposed to be.
Gotcha.
If there's no electricity, the pump cannot run, which means there's no water. Not only that, but ships do not have water on board.
Explain.
So ships, cruise liners filter their own ocean water.
Oh, they do. See, that's why the water tasted weird.
They use a desalination process as well as a reverse osmosis system. So ship water is more...
Desalination? Sorry. What's desalination?
You remove the salt from the salt water.
Oh, desaltation?
Desalination.
Oh, okay.
So it's... They basically have a reserve... They do have a reserve tank to like keep the pressure up.
Oh.
So like the pump can have enough water to run through the pipes.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
And then it'll like throw... I'm not 100% sure it works like this on every boat, but this is what I researched. But basically there was no electricity to run the pipe. So regardless if there were electronic toilets or not, the toilets won't flush. So they were given biohazard bags for people to poop in. That was interesting. People were like smearing poop all over the walls and stuff like that. So that's
kind of like the neighbor.
Hence the name. That's what it's. Hence the name. Poop cruise.
Okay.
So
it reminds me of Triangle of Sadness. Remember that movie on Hulu?
It was like that, but instead of vomit, it was poop.
Yeah.
And that made it into... It was a big thing back in that time.
Poop cruise.
Yes. So Royal Caribbean is a little bit more better. I've never been on...
More better.
It makes it... I mean, it's better. My experience with Royal Caribbean has been more professional. I've never been on Carnival. But I have heard a couple bloggers talk about Carnival, and they seem a little bit not... I would call them... they sound a little bit more raggedy than Carnival. Raggedy. I mean, than Royal Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
Royal Caribbean, for me, seems a little bit more professional, more... more...
Like they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure who's been in the industry longer, but...
So it seems to be a bit of a competition between...
I mean, it is a competition.
I mean, our poop did not come back.
No, we made it for 4 days. We made it.
Did you notice that the water tasted weird?
Yeah.
So it was that desalination process.
I didn't know this until last night, but you can drink the water from the shower and from the sink.
Really?
That's how clean it is.
See, I was scared to even rinse my mouth when I was brushing my teeth.
So all the water from it, well, the what I read, it wasn't for any specific ship. It was just like in general. You can technically drink it. Because
technically, seriously, there's that word technically.
Yes, you can technically drink it.
And you can probably technically drink the water in Ensenada, Mexico.
Well, that has its own thing of its own, but you can technically drink it. But I mean, of course, to each their own type of situation.
Right.
It is cleaned. I do remember watching a video when I did my first cruise in Allure of the Seas, which I watched a video that said that it was safe to drink and everything was purified even when it goes out. So like, when they clean the dirty water, like the sold water, when it gets released into the ocean, it's cleaned too.
Wait, they're releasing the water?
Well, they clean
from the toilets into the ocean?
Whatever goes in has to go out. But it's clean.
That does not sound right.
It's clean.
How many dead fish are flying behind the ship?
It's clean. So they also purify the water as it goes out.
Yeah.
So there is no regulation as to this, but the cruise lines is like to each their own. I can speak for Royal Caribbean. Ever since they started to do their cruise lines, they have a slogan that says "Save the Waves." So "Save the Waves," it's a program that they did it internal. It's an internal program that they try to do whatever possible to save the waves. So like not kill fish, not kill animals, save the ocean. Not sure if you realized.
Let the kids near it.
Not sure if you realized, but the soap that they provide you with doesn't lather as much.
Oh, like the soap you pumped from the little shower.
Like it doesn't lather as much. It's safe to be released in the ocean. So like the lotion is also bioenergy. It's safe. It's not like
so many things you'd ever think about.
Like a lot of the things that they use on the ship is safe for you to like use to not kill the reef or whatever it is.
So they're just pumping it right out. There might be a hole between your shower and the waves and the ocean.
No, they're cleaning the stuff, but it's easier to clean something that's biodegradable than something that's not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you're going to run through filters much faster.
Mm-hmm.
So they're also thinking about their pockets, you know?
Right. Okay, that's good. Now I feel better about the $900 that we spent. We spent extra money on a window view. And so have you done it without a window view?
Yes, in Allure of the Sea, I did an internal stateroom, which is basically the middle section. That's not a window. And I like the internal because it's darker when you close the door. And like it's pitch black. So that's that.
So, but we had blackout curtains in our room.
But it wasn't as dark. It wasn't as dark as not having windows. But again, it's to each their own. If you prefer to have an ocean view, which it was nice to have an ocean view.
It was very good.
You were able to see things without leaving your internal stateroom and going to an upper deck.
Well, I would have been so nauseous if I didn't have a window.
When I went alone in Allure of the Sea, I was never in the stateroom. I was always doing something. But keep in mind that Allure of the Seas is bigger than Navigator of the Seas.
What? It's called Allure of the Seas?
Yes.
Who is it owned by?
Yes, bitch, because they allure the sea.
Ooh, come allure. We're
exactly.
Alluring you. Like sexual, like...
No, it's just... They name ships differently. Like the newest ship is Icon of the Seas. And yes, it's an icon of the seas. It's the biggest cruise ship in the world.
Okay, keep your pants on. Go back. You're not nauseous in that room?
No, I didn't get nauseous.
My sister sent me a picture. She took a cruise. I don't know what cruise boat it was. She was on one of those inside rooms. They had a fake window in there.
So I was checking out Icon of the Seas.
We'll throw it up right now.
I was checking Icon of the Seas, and they do have that option.
A fake window?
Yes, but it's
you pay more for a fake window?
No, it's like just a few $100s more. It's not thousands of dollars more. It's just a few $100s more.
For a curtain with a wall behind it?
It's not a curtain. It's just like an LCD, like screen.
Oh, okay. And then Jessica doesn't have a screen.
You're able to change the views.
Oh, okay. So you could pretend to be in Egypt, surfing sand or whatever.
I believe you're even able to put like a live view of the ocean.
Wow.
Not sure. I'm planning to board that ship next year. I'm looking into tickets already for my birthday. Cheaper
to buy VR goggles. Let's talk about dizziness. Were you dizzy at all on this, Bo?
No. I mean, the movement was moving.
The movement was moving.
I mean, but it's nothing they can control. It was rough waters. It was a small ship.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I didn't realize because I didn't realize that they were even going to do that. Coming over the intercom and telling us the weather. Tonight, it's going to be a bumpy 12 knots. And 12 knots is a lot of knots. I was going up and down. And, but yeah, I wasn't sick. Like I didn't feel nauseous until I got back on land, which is crazy.
The reason why I like going on cruises is for one, you're in the middle of the ocean and you're able to take disconnecting literally. And two, the cruise directors are very good at telling you updates. You know, when we're departing, when we're leaving, temperature.
What is a cruise director? You keep bringing that up.
A cruise director is a person that's basically in charge of like entertainment, updates, shore excursions.
The guy who was making the announcement, he was like, "Hello, everyone. This is Captain Steve."
James.
Okay, whatever his name was. He was sounding a little too perfect. A little too like, this is not the captain.
Well, it is the captain. They have a reputation of the captain speaking like where we're going, what are the winds. He was very warm.
He was almost like a voice actor, like very ready to talk to everyone. And it was, I feel like he read a script.
He's been doing that job longer than you've been on board.
But he probably records it, right? And then presses
play. I don't think so. Because,
oh, really? He's doing it live?
I mean, he has to. It's his job.
Okay. Wow. So you didn't get sick. Do you feel like things are still moving now?
No, I was feeling that yesterday. So I went to work yesterday after the boat for about 3 hours. I was feeling it, and as I was talking to people, I was feeling the room moving. And
I'm feeling it now.
I mean, it happened to something called sea legs. It goes away after a certain amount of period of time. But it usually happens when the seas are rough. In which case the seas they were rough.
They were rough? You would consider that rough?
Well, it wasn't really, really rough, but it was kind of rough.
Jungling around?
Yeah. So, I mean, again, if you're going to go on a cruise, please buy your Dramamine or your patches or whatever it is you believe in.
Everyone had those things behind their ear.
Yes. By the way, those things do not work.
What is it called?
They're called motion sickness stickers or whatever.
Okay.
The reason why I know that they don't work is because when I was working at a clinic, I spoke to a specialist that was there. And she said, yeah, those don't work. Those are scams. And I told her, what about the bracelet? And she said, that's also a scam. What is a bracelet going to do? So,
well, I'm hearing this and you're wearing a health ring.
Well, the health ring transmits data to the phone, but the band is just a rubber band.
Oh, so it's psychological.
Yes. So, I mean, I guess that's where psychology gets into people's brains.
I'm starting to get nauseous. Like, seriously, like right now. Okay. A lot of kids on the boat. Do you?
So, agree? Okay. There were a lot of kids.
Of the seas.
There were a lot of kids, but that was my mistake. Again, Royal Caribbean is a family-centered cruise line. It is an adult cruise line. But they are Royal Caribbean International, which means it's a Royal Caribbean group. So they own two other companies, one of them known as Celebrity Cruises. Celebrity Cruises, I believe, is an adult-only cruise liner.
And they take your picture every day?
I believe so.
Alexis.
But
Kim Kardashian is the captain?
No.
Hello, bitches.
No.
Everyone, get your bikinis on.
So maybe next time for him, we're going to be doing Celebrity Cruises.
Me.
I don't mind. I've been on other cruises with kids. Again, if you don't like kids, I can see why you don't want to board. There
were a lot of kids. Let's just put it that way.
There were, but again, it's a family based.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of kids like coming of age and eating pizza all the time. I'm surprised they didn't give us bibs. It felt like like a kindergarten.
Again, next time we go together, we're gonna go on Celebrity Cruises.
Right.
But for me, I will be doing Icon of the Seas, which is the biggest cruise liner in the world.
You can pack a lot of kids on there.
Which, by the way, I didn't know this, but 20 years ago, Navigator of the Sea used to be the biggest cruise ship in the world, and now it's
the one that we went on.
Yes.
Oh wow.
So I didn't know that, but that was more than 20 years ago. I was 2.
Wow. You were 2 when Navigator of the Seas was
released.
Oh, when it was released?
Yes.
Oh, wow. So I must have been 4 or whatever.
You were 14. No, 12.
Wait, why you... Oh, God. All right. I'm a daddy, apparently. Do you think of me as a daddy?
Anyway.
No. Do you think of me as a daddy?
No, I don't. I think of you as a twink.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
A twink who happens to be older than you?
A twink's age doesn't matter.
Why do you think of me as a twink? Because I don't have an ass? I'm not skinny. I'm a natural 181.
He looks like a stick.
I would like everyone to know that I gained weight on this cruise.
He gained
I don't even know.
pounds.
A few pounds. No. I was 174 with clothes on.
Okay.
And then I was 181 without clothes on when I got back off the cruise.
For starters.
And I took my clothes off when I got into my bedroom, so everyone knows. It wasn't like I took my clothes off on the cruise and never put them back on. 181. No clothes. That's a lot of weight. 10 pounds.
I was at 165 when we left, and I weighed myself today before eating without clothes. And I was 167. So that tells me that I gained 2 pounds. And it also tells me that it wasn't a lot for the amount of times we ate and the amount of things we ate.
I really thought we were gaining 20 pounds.
I stuffed myself with their famous soft serve. So
they had soft serve ice cream. That was good. The soft serve was good and it was free. Everything was free. So whether it was good or not, we ate it. What did you think of the Fiesta food, the Mexican restaurant that always had burritos?
This is the problem with either onboard food or anywhere in general. Any place that says authentic Mexican food is not authentic Mexican food.
Oh, here we go.
Unless...
Why? Why is it not authentic?
Because usually it's owned by white people. It usually started by...
Well, we're on the Royal Caribbean.
Well, it's not a white... It comes from Norway, by the way. It's not an American company. But any Mexican food is not really real Mexican food unless an actual Mexican cooks it. Like if you go to Mexico, that's real authentic Mexican food.
But they don't call it authentic Mexican food?
Why would they call it authentic Mexican food?
I don't know. I mean, okay. So you're saying it's a scam. I just know that the quesadillas were hard and they didn't have cheese.
Nobody gets Mexican food perfect.
Not even the people in Mexico?
Oh, no, they do.
Oh, here we go. Okay. Because they hand press their tortillas or whatever. Let's do a speed food ratings round. Quesadillas.
Look, I like the quesadillas because they were not greasy.
Yeah, but they didn't have cheese.
They did have cheese.
I give it a solid 2. And when I say solid, they were solid. Like a plate.
No, they were pretty soft. They were not hard.
They were hard. Everything was hard.
I liked the fact that the chicken in there was juicier than the chicken in the basin for you to pick and put in your...
so they had nachos and they had meats that you could throw on top of it with rocks of chicken.
Yes, but as somebody that's cooked or worked at a kitchen before, I can say that the chicken and the meat was dry because it's been sitting in a warmer all day.
Yeah.
And it dries it out. You know? So
how was that chicken cooked? I was trying to figure it out.
I don't know.
Boiled?
I don't work for them.
Was it dragged through the sea? I don't know.
It was
very salty. Like, no lie. Like, no joke. It was actually very salty.
I mean, Pollo Loco's salty.
Yeah, but not like that. And at least there's chicken is soft. What a score do you give the quesadilla?
I give this the quesadilla a 9. A
quesadilla. A 9? What? Okay.
I like the quesadilla. I like the quesadilla.
And now we're going to rate the burrito.
The burrito tasted like a Pollo Loco burrito. I'm not going to lie.
No, it did not. No, it did not. It had nothing on. Oh my God. Have you did you have a tongue? Like, it did not taste like that. It was a log of nothing. It had nothing going on. Nothing good. I give that a -1, those burritos. Burritos with a soft B. What's your score for the burritos?
I only took a bite, so I cannot.
You didn't have a whole burrito?
No, I did not have a whole burrito.
Score on the bite?
He's a hater for everything and anything. So.
What's your score?
I don't know because I didn't eat a whole burrito.
Okay. Okay. What else? Soft serve. We're giving it a 10. 10 all around. 10.
Yes, soft serve was really good. Just in case you don't know, Royal Caribbean's known for their soft serve.
Oh, really?
Okay. It's really good.
Okay. Windjammer food. We won't even rate it. What were the burgers?
Windjammer for me, I mean, I kind of knew what I was getting myself into. It was pretty okay. It was okay. I mean, it's a buffet. It's not your dine-in situation.
Yeah.
So you should already know what you're expecting.
I would give the dine-in food, the Titanic dining room, I would give that food a 9. That food was good.
A 9 out of 10? And you're saying it's good?
I mean, the only thing that they got wrong was my carne asada was actually almost raw, and they said that it was going to be medium rare. But I mean, free. I think free helps it a lot. I'm going to give that food a 9. I had a lot of desserts. I had a lot of stuff that stuck to my bones. I was always full when I walked out of there, satisfied.
Well, not only that, but I feel like a big factor of, the big reason why I keep choosing Royal Caribbean is because the way that staff makes sure that you're taken care of.
Right.
It's not, like, the food is fine, the eatery's fine, but staff check-ins or like the way they make sure that everything's okay and like your experience is going great. It's like you're talking to somebody you don't even know, but they make you feel like family in the way.
Yeah. They were nice. They were nice as hell.
So
nice as hell.
Yes. So
just the nicest.
That's a plus for me. I still remember when I cruised alone. Their staff was very friendly. We had full-on conversation on Allure of the Seas. Yeah. And somehow some of them even became sort of my friends throughout the cruise. Like I had my known what is it called? Bar stations, because there's many bar stations on that ship. But yeah, they kind of became my friends, and they told me like where to go sometimes and like what spots to hit up. And that's pretty like first impressions, you know?
Yeah, shout out to Kevin in our dining room because he was really, really helpful and nice. But I was also giving him a lot of money. I gave him $20 the first night. People don't even tip. And then you notice he loved us and they kept seating us in his section.
If you think, the reason they do that is because once you have a reservation, you get assigned a specific server. It's not whether you tip or not. You get assigned a specific server. And if I was to select when I book the cruise a certain time, then they will assign a table to you on your card. But because I did my time dining, because we weren't sure what time we were going to eat, we determined that on the first day of the cruise, if you recall.
I'm lost.
So if you do my time dining, you don't get nothing assigned. You show up at whatever time you want to dine.
Right.
So we determined our future reservations on the first day. And they assigned us a server and a table. So, but if you selected the time you wanted to eat when you bought the cruise, they already assigned a table and a server. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. So we were just really coming in at the hottest hour. But we did make that reservation, and I mean, we got seated way faster than like the Olive Garden or something.
Yes, that's another thing that I really like. They always try to be attentive as to like what the client needs or wants. I mean, obviously there were some bitches there that, by bitches I mean like
it's just
clients that were being stuck up bitches. But like
it's funny to think of us as clients because I mean like we just started showing up in sweatpants. Who was the bitch? What was the drama?
Well, I mean, for one, if you're gonna be a bitch, have the facts, but we're not going to talk about that.
No, well, I mean, you're talking about it now.
No, Joseph, I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Some lady was rude.
There was a lady that was being rude. But
they had different nights.
Right?
And remember, like, there was like a Mexican night. There was an Italian night. And she got mad on Italian night because her lasagna was too greasy, which lasagna is basically grease between pasta.
Right.
I was satisfied.
But the lasagna was bombing. I mean, it was...
Bomb. It was bomb. It was bussin'.
Yes, it was really good. She didn't like it. And
then he demanded a carne asada.
She gave, like, attitude to the server.
But it was a limited menu. You weren't allowed to go off menu.
Literally, the server goes, so what would you like instead? And she said, I don't know. You tell me.
Oh, she said that?
So that for me was like, what the fuck are you doing here if, the server's asking you what you want?
That was the night I tipped $20 because I felt bad for Kevin. And I would always take the money and I would hide it between the salt and pepper shaker. But he definitely found it because he started being so nice to us and bringing us food that we didn't even order. And
well, no, he's hard of hearing, but the server,
me or
Kevin,
him?
You
or both of us.
Kevin would ask, like, would tell us. So there was nights where we would share starter, main course, dessert, and for the last 2 nights, there was some food we wouldn't share. And he would just say, oh, do you want this? And I would say, yeah, sure, bring it. But my friend over here didn't hear what he would ask.
You think I'm hard of hearing?
Yes.
Really?
No.
All right. Well,
you just didn't hear him. He would talk in a lower voice. But he wouldn't bring it on his own. He would bring it. He would tell us. He would say, oh, would you want this to share? And I would say yes.
Remember those shrimp? Those big chunky shrimp?
The
jumbo shrimp.
The jumbo shrimp.
Those were really jumbo. Like
they were big, yeah.
Like we just caught them that day.
But basically he was a very attentive server. He kind of caught on to like what we were doing, like with the sharing. A bunch of
fat asses.
Yeah. So
we would have 2 appetizers each. Then we would have an entree each, share an entree. And then like what, 5 desserts?
1.5 desserts.
The last dinner, no. The last dinner we had 4 desserts. I counted them. 1, 2, 3, 4. I had tres leches. No, I had chocolate cake.
It was 2 desserts. It was, I had 3.
Oh, he kept bringing them. I don't even know. He basically brought us the whole menu.
No, he did not. You got tres leches. I got flan and I got a brownie. And then wait, that's not the right night.
That's not the last night. No. Say you're wrong.
I got a brownie. And then I got a creme brulee with ice cream. And then you got
a royal chocolate cake.
Royal chocolate cake. And he brought us a sharing, which was
a brownie.
No, that was for me.
Ice cream. He brought us ice cream.
It was ice cream as an extra, which was, I appreciated that. That's very thoughtful.
Yeah, and he was working for that tip. It's sad because he got $20 the first
You're not understanding whether or not you left the tip or not.
No, I know. I'm about to say it if you let me. $20 the first night. Then I only had 2 5s in my wallet for the next night. Then we went to Catalina and I got $200 from Vaughn's to play blackjack. I lost the $200 and we're not talking about it. And then I had $0 to tip him. And so he got no tip on the last night when he brought the most food. But
well,
we love you, Kevin.
To be quite clear, whether or not he received a tip, he was still being friendly. And
he was very nice.
Very, very nice.
I almost kissed him on the cheek.
Oh my God. And that's how most of their staff is. Very, very friendly, very nice to make sure you're taken care of. Yeah. And it's, again, whether or not you tip, which you can tip on your own. When you buy a cruise, you have to either pay gratuity as a whole. So if you spend $1,000 on the cruise ticket, they add your 10% gratuity to that $1,000.
Only 10%?
Yes, it's 10% for whatever you spend. Or you can pay gratuity per day while you're in the cruise, and it's more it's more expensive if you think about it.
Yeah.
You know, because it adds up. So it's basically the same thing, but while you're on the cruise, you're wasting more money in a way.
Me?
Yeah, like in general, like you're spending, like let's say if you want to splurge while the days you're in the cruise, right?
Splurge.
Like you want to buy merch, you want to buy like drinks, you want to buy like food, stuff like that. Go like when you get off and you want to buy stuff, you have to take in consideration that you're also going to do tips per day. So I don't.
Oh, after the fact, you do that?
That's an option.
Really?
You can either.
Oof, they are just taking money.
No.
Yeah, they are.
No. There's an option for you to pay the gratuity when you purchase the cruise, or pay the gratuity per day when you're already on the boat.
Oh, okay.
I always do beforehand.
So we paid 10%.
Yes, but you can also tip an additional when you're on the cruise, which that's what he did. You can do that.
I tipped cash as long as I had it.
That's what he did. But if you want to tip more, let's say you didn't have cash, but you want to tip more at the end of the cruise,
write the names down.
You write the names down and the amount of money you want to give to those people. That's an option too. There's people that leave a lot of money. I don't know. But you're able to do that too.
Yeah. Do you think that we should have gotten that drink package looking back?
Well, looking back, yes. Because
No.
Listen, yes, because I felt limited as to how much I can drink. I feel like my wings were cut off. But because you don't
thing.
Because you don't drink a lot.
You only got to drink 4 drinks instead of 7.
So
we bought drinks, and let's start from the top. How much does the drink package cost?
Okay, so if you were to buy it before the cruise, I would have spent $600 for both, including gratuity. And the limitation was 4 to 5 drinks a day with that package. The reason why I couldn't buy myself my own drink package was because it's per stateroom and not per client. So he didn't want to drink 4 drinks a day. I would have easily won that shit because in my last cruise, I would do 7 drinks a day. So
you're talking about me.
Yes.
Just so that no.
So this time around, when we didn't buy the drink package, I feel limited. When I think of a cruise, I think about drinking, having the best night of the time, like the best of it.
Kill that liver. Kill it.
I mean, it's once in a while. We don't do it all the time. So I was looking forward for the package, but of course.
But it would have been $700.
That was for
the 2 of us, with the promotion that they were offering.
Well, that was a day
and
that
we were going to have how many drinks a day?
That was the day that we boarded that it was 700. And it was 6-7 drinks a day for that package.
Oh, Jesus.
But I feel like it would have been easily accomplished if we would have done 5 drinks a day. This is my model.
I don't drink that much. I drink like a bottle of wine a month.
Remember, a mimosa cost me $14.
Yeah.
So if you think about it,
Wait, why did it cost you $14 for a mimosa? Are you serious?
Drinks on a cruise are not cheap.
Wait, you spent $14 on a mimosa?
Yes, and then I spent $15 on $15 on your what is it called?
Martini.
On your martini.
Oh, see, in my head, the drinks were $7 because well, we should let everyone know that during the happy hour, you can get lime margaritas on the rocks for $7.49.
Disclaimer:
actually, that's true. Why was there tax? Anyways,
there is a disclaimer on that statement. It depends what ship and what day of the month or what month you board cruises, because each ship has her own discounts and perks.
Yeah.
So that depends. But if you drink a lot, I would encourage you to get the drink package.
And a kidney replacement or whatever.
No, but also it's just more convenient in a way.
I see. Okay.
Like, you don't have to be signing the fucking receipt every single time you buy something.
Yeah, you had to sign the receipt for every single drink, even if you ordered 4 drinks at a time, just so people know.
Yeah, so if you ordered 4
drinks. And the paper
drinks,
would get all wet, your hands were wet in the hot tub, and there was like a whole freaking thing.
So if you don't want to be doing that all the time, just buy the drink package. It's just better. So if we go again...
I don't think so.
If we go again... I'm buying the drink package, and I'm not going to tell him.
Then we're not going to stay in the same room. I might not even be on the cruise. I don't need to see you drinking 14 drinks a day.
No, it's easy for me to do that. Wait, but you know what? Remember what I was telling you? That if you have the drink package, look, if you have the drink package and you get a drink and you try it and you don't like it, you can you can order a new one, and like, you don't have to like forcefully drink that beverage because you technically didn't pay for it.
I can also go over the side of the boat and it would still be free, and I could get another one.
No, because you would be paying for that other drink.
What do you mean paying? I have a drink package.
If you don't have the drink package, you would have to pay for it.
Oh, okay. You see how some people are sharing their drink package on the boat?
You can't talk about that.
Oh, why can we not talk about that?
Because they're not supposed to be doing that.
People share their drink package.
No, because...
we don't know anyone's name, but we saw it happening. People are sharing their drink package.
So the reason... But back in the day, you were able to buy the drink package... The drink package per person and not by stateroom. And the reason they changed it was because people were sharing their drink package with everyone in the stateroom. So they would only buy one drink package, and then they knew the rule that it was every 2 minutes you could buy a drink. So if you had 2 people, it was
2 minutes.
So every 2 minutes you can swipe the card. No, if you're sharing the drink package, every 2 minutes you can get another drink.
Wow.
So like, I would buy mine first, 2 minutes, go to a different bar, buy the friend's
different
drink.
Bar.
Yes, but I didn't do this. This is not.
Of course, me. You never did this.
No, I never did this because I went alone. I did go alone. But people would do that. They then changed that rule to it being a drink package per stateroom. So if you had 4 adults, you would have to buy 4 drink packages.
Wow.
So that's just the way that it goes. You know, the rule is like,
everyone's getting
if one gets caught, one person fucks it up for everybody else. That's...
Yeah. Okay. But we saw that guy in the hot tub. Remember the couple? The guy owned some sort of business, and they were from Huntington Beach, and the lady had this sharp lipstick. She had that sharp mouth.
No. She
had a mouth that looked like she could cut you. Like, she had like a piranha mouth. Like, and we own a business. And then they said...
They were Republicans.
African-American gentlemen, they said, what are you guys drinking? And they got him 4 drinks at one time.
Well...
How did he do that?
No, he paid for it.
I still think that it was like a freaking... what's the movie?
The person
No. What's the movie where you go into the dark space? Jordan Peele. What is that movie called?
I don't know.
I still feel like it was like that. Like they were trying to roofie them or something. No,
they paid for the pack. They paid for the drinks. They didn't do it with the beverage package.
Oh, he paid for those drinks?
He paid for those drinks.
But then he walked away. That was the weirdest part. What are you guys drinking? And then they were like, I don't know, margaritas. He came back with 4 margaritas. And then he was like, all right, I'll see you around. And the wife was like, we were so happy to meet you. We hope we see you again. And she had that sharp lip. And then they got the fuck out of there. And I was watching those gentlemen because I was like, they're going to fall over and start foaming at the mouth. And then the wife is going to come back and be like, what's wrong? And then she'll grab them and bring them back. And then we're going to fuck them. I knew that something sexual was happening. Maybe I was so bored that I had to write a story in my head.
Are you done?
Yes, I'm done.
That is not what happened. The wife was having a conversation with them, and the wife liked them, so the husband went to go buy them drinks. And for one, the lady he's talking about and the gentleman that he's talking about,
sharp lip.
They were very, very, very Republican.
Yeah.
And the only way I found out was because they live in Huntington Beach. Huntington Beach is not quite Democrat.
And we know about Huntington Beach. They will hunt you
for another
on the beach.
They were business owners, so don't know what the fuck they were doing. But they were talking to a lot of people in the hot tub, and they seemed a little bit
predatory.
I don't know.
With that sharp lip.
You and that fucking lip. Why the fuck are you bringing, baby?
Do you remember the lip?
I understand.
She like made points at the top of her lip.
We don't talk about people's appearance.
Right. I feel like there was a bit of like showing off how much money you got.
When I was in the other seas, there was this Caucasian lady from Texas that didn't like me because one, I lived in California, and two, because I was Hispanic. She was very racist.
So she said that?
Well, this is how it came to par, okay? So I got off the boat in Honduras, Roatan, Honduras, and I had purchased an excursion, like a tour, and also it was like half tour, half a zip lining. There were 23 zip lines, but as you were walking to the zip lines, they would talk about a little bit about how they came about and like how Royal Caribbean has helped
the
locals and stuff. So they split the group of 100 into 4. Yeah, because it was 25 people each, because there were bridges, and the bridges were only allowed 25 people at a time, so they wouldn't snap. So I got stuck on her group, which I was the last group. We were 14, I believe. And she wouldn't stop talking about, like, she just wouldn't stop talking. Like, she was like running her mouth, yapping. But I was minding my business, because I wasn't there to talk to people. I was there to mind my business and have fun for myself. But she started to talk to another teacher that also lives in Texas. And they were talking their own conversations. But something that stood out to me was that she started to say that she was an ESL teacher, and she didn't like being an ESL teacher because she had to learn Spanish. But again, I mind my own business, because the conversation was between one conservative to another. So I was minding my own business. Then she comes up to me and she says, "Hi, what's your name? And where are you from?"
She was attacking you.
So then I said, "Hi, my name is Alexis. I live in California, LA to be specific." And she said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry."
I'm so sorry.
And so I said, I'm sorry. What are you sorry about?" And she said, "Because Gavin Newsom is your governor."
Oh, God.
And I said, "Well, I mean, I don't have an issue. Like, he's a good governor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm fine." And she started to go critical about how, California is shit, and how it's like horrible or whatever. And I said, I didn't say anything to that. But she kept running her mouth everywhere we went. Literally, she would go like, "Hi, California. Hi, California."
Really?
Yes. So
this is when you got to step on her.
The locals, I was not interacting with her because she was a waste of my time, and I wasn't going to waste my time with an ignorant person. But I speak Spanish. So the locals speak Spanish. So the locals were kind of happy that I was speaking Spanish to them, because it was easier for them to interact with me. So they were taking pictures of me, because I was the first one they took pictures of. And this human was literally like, "Smile, California, smile. You're not smiling." And I'm like, what? I had no words to say. And I was like, what the fly? Like, why are you ruining my vacation?
Yeah.
But I didn't let that ruin my vacation. Back to going through zip line number 1. It was the longest zip line in Central America, or in the Bahamas, I believe. No, the Caribbean. And so they were telling me instructions, right? And we got to another zip line that was longer than the first one. And they wanted everyone that did know how to zip line to go first, so that the people that didn't know how to zip line, people would go with them, like the locals that were pros at it.
Mm-hmm.
So then karma gets you back. So she would always get stuck in the middle of the zip lines, and they would always have to go rescue her. So for this long one, one of the locals had asked, like, in Spanish, they said, "Who's the dumb people that don't know how to zip line all the way through?" So they
said dumb people?
Yes. But in Spanish, it's like, "¿Cuáles son las burritas?" So I'm like laughing inside. And this other young person that was my age at the time, said, "Esta gringa," this white person, right? And they started talking about other, like, certain things about her. And I'm just like, this is why. Like, 1, if you're conservative, why do you go to foreign countries?
Yeah.
And 2, don't talk shit about other people.
But so did she fall off or something?
No, she would just get stuck in the middle of the zip line.
Oh, and then what?
And then
scream?
Will, like, start to, like, panic.
California!
Well, no, she would start to panic, and then it was a whole thing.
You should have said, "You're not smiling."
Well,
Huntington.
I was keeping my comments to myself, and I was like, you know what? I don't got time for this. I am not gonna put more attention to your stupidity.
Yeah.
So that was that. We
should have snipped the line.
We finished this excursion. We made it back to the ship, and I thought that was the end of her. Like, I was gonna stop. Oh wait, hold on. Before that, before it was the end, the local lady that was giving us the tour is talking about how in Roatan they don't live off of medicine. They do have medicine, but they don't primarily use medicine as something when they get sick. Instead, they use more herbal stuff, right? So we were passing through a plant, and somebody had a question about that plant, and they were like, "Hey, what is that plant used for?" And she replied with, "That plant is for erectile dysfunction." And so this bitch goes, "That's what my husband needs." And in my head, I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like, she's talking a lot, and she's throwing her husband under the bus.
She probably had the drink package.
I have no fucking clue. But anyway, that kind of stood out to me, because I'm like, why are you with this lady? Like, don't you see that she's embarrassing you?
Did she snip the plant?
I have no fucking idea. But they don't
that's how Cialis got invented.
They don't really... Well, you can't take foreign leaves into the cruise ship. It's just not allowed.
Right, because of customs.
But
that joke did not pass customs.
Exactly. But anyway, back to the ending of this. We made it back to the cruise ship, and I thought this was the end of me hearing her voice. So the next morning, actually it was 2 days after that, I was in the Solarium bar, and I was just sitting FaceTiming my friend, and the call wouldn't go through because it was a cloudy day, so the internet wasn't quite working. But I was getting... My favorite drink was Coke with
something.
Coke with whiskey. And her husband swings by and is like, "Hi." And I knew who he was, so I was pretending like he wasn't talking to me. I was reading the menu, like, you know how when you really focus on something? Like, just like...
Yeah, like...
On purpose?
Yeah.
So he was like, "Hi." He told me hi 3 times, and I'm like, you're not getting the hint. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? So then I just said, hi, how are you? And he's like, good. How are you? And I'm like, oh, I'm good. And
I hate your wife, but
he said, do you not remember me? And I'm like, no, I'm sorry. I don't remember you. Who are you? And he totally almost lost his shit.
What?
Because again, it was 2 days ago. And for the record, I did remember who he was. I just didn't want to.
You had met him 2 days before?
Remember the crazy lady with the husband?
Oh, right.
That was the husband. But I didn't want to entertain the...
So you stunted on him.
Basically.
Stunted.
So then, like, I just told him, I don't know who you are. And he said, oh, my crazy wife is over there. So I'm not sure to this day what fly he wanted.
What the fly?
But after I came back to the US, back to LA, and I went back to work, I told this story to a friend. And the friend was like, what if he wanted to have sex with you?
It sounds that way.
So I said, 1, I was not going to have sex with him. 2, ew.
What if he sucked on the Cialis plant?
I don't fucking know. But anyway, that interaction was the most
poor
interaction. But basically, I knew who he was. I just didn't want to entertain what didn't need to be entertained.
This is sounding very White Lotus. You saw the finale and you only saw the premiere and the finale of this season of White Lotus.
So cruising is like White Lotus.
Yeah, but it's less glamorous.
I like cruising.
Everything isn't sepia. You know, everything is so orange looking and nice on White Lotus.
I like cruising. Well, I like cruises because you're literally in the middle of the ocean.
Anything can happen.
Well, not anything can happen, but like you're quite disconnected from the world besides the people you're with. Uh-huh. And most of the time the people you're with don't even talk to you because the rest of the rest of the people that are aboard the cruise besides the staff, they don't quite talk to you. They don't know you.
The other clients.
Yes, they don't talk to you. So it's like you're on your own. So if you want to disconnect from the world, you can. Really?
Yeah.
You don't really have to talk to people besides the staff.
Yeah, there were some people like that were just kind of checked out. They didn't really have any friends. And I liked it. I admired it. You know, they would read a book or like sit there with their sunglasses on.
As somebody that's cruised alone, it's the best feeling. And it actually gets you sometimes seated faster. Because I mean, if you have my time dining, I never had a reservation when I was in Allure of the Seas. So it was a little harder for me to get a table. But because I was alone, it was a little easier in a way, a little faster.
Wait, so you had my time dining, so they told you what time?
No,
it's the other way around.
Just show up.
Oh, okay.
I would just show up. Like I would be like, peekaboo, I'm here. And so
peekaboo.
It was a little harder it's harder for the staff to get you seated because they have other people that have to seat. It's like having a priority pass at a theme park or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Do you remember when we were in the dining room the last day? This was like the most dramatic thing that happened. There was a medical emergency. Do you remember that?
So yes, there was a medical emergency on the last day, which was Thursday. And we were just talking about...
We were eating our 5th dessert.
No, we were actually eating our main...
Oh, right. You're right.
Our main course, or this whatever the course is. I
was biting into a jumbo shrimp.
I was multitasking. I was talking to my family, talking to him.
What?
Eating food.
Oh, you were on the phone.
And then right as I hang up, I heard code alpha on section whatever.
They went code alpha, alpha, alpha. And my asshole went out.
No.
I got so scared.
He got scared. I got kind of like, what the hell's going on?
You got scared, yeah. Otherwise known as scared.
But he had thought that somebody went overboard because he was hoping that somebody went overboard, which I don't know. He's crazy for that. I was
waiting.
But
I was hoping someone that would really.
No. But anyway.
Someone of volume.
No. But anyway. Then this is the part that I extremely liked, that the staff came over and made sure.
I asked.
Well, no, the waiter.
Kevin.
No, not Kevin. There was somebody else. They were talking to another table, and they went to them specifically. They didn't ask. They said, everything's going to be fine. It's just a medical emergency. And then they came to us, and that's when you asked.
Yeah.
So, like, I liked that they made sure that we knew the understanding of what that code was.
Yeah.
And they made sure to tell us that it was pretty safe because it had other measures in place for other things.
Yeah. I wonder if they're in the morgue now. What happened to that person?
Well, you're never going to know because you weren't there.
Hopefully it was the lady with the sharp lip.
I think it was anxiety because it was pretty rough. It was windy. And it was like moving. The boat was moving.
Oh, like people had anxiety.
Yeah. So it must have been anxiety.
Yeah.
But if it was something else, if it's a death, sorry for your loss. They didn't really announce that.
People who are not listening.
Yes.
You know what the code is if you fall over? I looked it up. It's code Oscar. Code Oscar, 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 the Grouch.
Well, I didn't know that because I never had to experience that. But
well, I'm just letting you know.
If you're on a boat, please do not go overboard. I
thought about it.
You probably.
I was looking over that balcony. I was like, "That's a nice dip."
You probably the water was won't survive. Flat. You probably won't survive.
Why do you say that? I've seen Dr. Odyssey. They survive.
Dr. Odyssey is not real.
Why do you not survive if you fall overboard?
You're going to hit ocean water probably really fast. And
so the fall kills you?
And you're talking about trying to swim from like waves of a ship because the ship creates waves.
Oh, so you get pushed out?
Yes. Right. And it's not even on purpose. It's just that it's cruising by and it's creating waves.
Yeah. All right. So when's the next one?
I'm looking into going on a cruise next year for my birthday.
And you're going to do celebrity cruises?
I wanted to do Icon of the Seas, but I know you don't like kids,
right.
So I might just go alone or something. I don't know.
All right. Buy the Wi-Fi package so we can FaceTime or whatever. You can FaceTime your daddy.
You are not my daddy.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
I became a daddy without trying.